So come to the front of the mat, feet together or underneath the sitting bones. Spread the toes out so you have a strong foundation, and press through the balls of the feet and the inner and outer heel. You start to lift through the front of the thighs and the tailbone draws down. Your chest bone can start to lift. Bring the palms together into Anjali Mudra, prayer position at the heart center. And just take a deep breath in. And exhale it all out. On the next breath in, extend your arms towards the sky. And as you exhale, fold it forward, standing forward. Knees can bend to create more length. Inhale, come halfway up, hands on the shins or on the floor. And as you exhale, fold it a little bit deeper. We'll step the right leg back into a lunge, left knee over the left heel. Press into the ball of the right foot, extend the chest forward, and step the left leg back into a plank pose. So we create length through the spine, from between the heels to the tailbone, to the heart, to the crown of the head. Let's take another deep breath in. And as you exhale, bring the knees to the floor and lower down as the elbows move back. Press the pubic bone down and inhale just into a small cobra pose. Extend the heart forward, toes press back. And from here we'll move into a downward facing dog. So downward dog, you can keep the knees bent as you lift your hips high. You're grounding through the heels. You can start to straighten the legs, but you can also keep them soft to create the length through the spine. Step the feet together to the back of the mat. As you inhale, reach your right leg behind you very slowly with the breath. And then bring the knee towards the nose, rounding forward to step the right foot between the hands again. Press into the back foot, heart forward. Step the left foot forward, standing forward bend. Inhale to lengthen through the spine, and then fold it all the way to exhale. We'll come all the way to standing. Inhale, reach the arms to the sky, and hands to the heart on the exhale. So we'll continue the flow of Surya Namaskar, sun salutations. Inhale, extend your prayer. Exhale, standing forward bend. Inhale to elongate the spine. And the exhale, you draw into yourself, the head can relax. This time the left leg steps back and the right knee over the right heel. Step the right leg back into a plank pose. Either knees on the floor, straight legs as you lower down, halfway or all the way. Inhale into a small cobra pose. All stretch the toes back, the heart lifts, and the thighs and the knees come off the floor. Either variation, lift out of the shoulders and broaden the collarbones. Tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. And once again, we step the feet together. We can bend the knees to create more space in the spine. Inhale, extend your left leg behind you. Step the foot between the hands and take the right foot forward, standing forward bend. Inhale, lengthen the chest and fold it deeply to exhale. Inhale, extend your arms to the sky and hands to the center of the heart. So warrior or Surya Namaskar, but we'll move into some of the warrior poses. We'll create a bit of fluidity and playfulness in the flow. So go ahead and bring the hands to the heart. Inhale, raise the prayer. Exhale, standing forward bend. Lengthen the spine to breathe in, so there's always elongation on the inhale. And then fold it deeply, exhaling. Left leg comes back, right leg comes back, plank pose, and lower down. Inhale, lift through the chest, downward facing dog. Now from your downward dog, extend your right leg behind you and step the foot between the hands. This time the left foot comes flat, so heel to heel or heel to arch. And you look to the left side of the mat, warrior two pose. So now the right thigh rotates out. There's a little bit of space in the hips. Bring the right forearm to the right thigh, left arm all the way beyond your ear. The extended side angle pose, we create that length all the way from the left little toe to your hip, to your armpit, to your fingertips. Come all the way back, warrior two pose. straighten both legs and keep the right thigh rotating out as you extend your right arm all the way beyond your right toes. Keep the space in your waist. Right hand to thigh or shin. Lift arm to the sky. So you can be quite active through your feet and through your legs. Inhale to rise all the way back up. Turn your toes to your left side of the mat and square your feet. Bring the hands to the hips. Lift through the chest bone. Extend the heart forward into a standing forward bend. So think of space from pubic bone to the navel to the chest bone, all the way to the crown. You can keep your hands on your thighs, fingertips to a block or onto the floor. And as with all standing forward bends or seated forward bends, the knees can bend or soften to avoid overstretching at the joints. Come halfway up, hands to the hips, and then slowly rise all the way up. Wonderful. We'll turn the left toes to the back of the mat. So now the left thigh bone rotates out and you press into the right toe. Come into a warrior two pose. So the rotation is in that left leg. The right leg is super strong and straight. And you keep the chest broad, the heart lifting the tailbone down. Think of the length from between the heels to the tailbone or the perineum, the pit of your belly, the light of your heart, and the crown of the head. Left forearm to left thigh, right arm all the way beyond your ear. And as we move into these side stretches, imagine your heart rising towards the sky. So there's almost like a rotation. You lift your chest. We spend so much time collapsing inwards. Now we expand and we lift and find lightness in the heart. Come all the way up on an inhale, warrior two. Straighten both legs, but keep that external rotation of the left leg. Reach your left arm all the way beyond your left toe, so you keep that openness in the waist. Hand to the thigh, shin or floor, and right arm towards the sky. And so even in this pose, we don't need to bring the fingertips to the floor, but we do want that broadness, lightness and ease. Looking up into the infinite sky. So with every inhale, perhaps you find that extension and length, and maybe just a little bit more openness on the exhale. Inhale back to your warrior two. This time we'll bring the hands to the left foot and we'll step into a plank pose. So find your plank, tailbone down, heart forward. Slowly lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana all the way. Inhale, come into a cobra, upward dog, but find lightness through the heart again. And downward facing dog. And so from our downward facing dog, once again the right leg extends. Both arms evenly straight. Bring the right foot all the way between the hands. The left foot turns in. And once again, we are in our warrior two. And so this time, really focus on the openness of the chest. So bring the arms towards the sky, shoulders drawn down. And we'll bend the right elbow, so right hand behind your heart. And you can almost lift your heart a little bit higher, but keep the tailbone down. Stay here, take the left arm all the way around and find your fingertips or hold on to your top bar belt. So can you still keep the right thigh rotating out, but the left shoulder drawing back? Can you lift the heart, but stay grounded through your roots? Straighten both legs. Turn the toes towards now your left side. We keep the heart lifted as we fold into a standing forward bend. And so if you can keep your hands together or keep holding on to your belt or your top, then you can keep that lightness with the heart even as you fold inwards. And press the feet firmly to the ground and imagine leading with your heart extending forward and eventually rising all the way up. Reach your arms out to the side, arms to the sky. Bend the left elbow this time. So left fingertips lifting your heart, finding a bit of space. Right arm all the way around. Find your fingertips. And once again we fold forward. So keeping the heart extended, as if you could lead with your heart center. Folding inwards. And so just feeling that light touch behind your heart, I'm imagining it's a gentle, soothing touch. And again, come halfway up. Eventually rise all the way up. And turn the left toes to the front of the mat. Bend the left knee. So once again, we're in our warrior two pose. The left thigh rotates out. Right leg super strong. And so maybe we can keep the heart lifted, but stability through our core and our lower back. So can you find the openness in the left hip and in the right shoulder drawing back and down? Reach the arms out all the way, warrior two as we know it. Bring the hands towards the left foot. Step into a plank pose and lower down. Inhale, lift through the chest. Cobra, upward dog, but still that lightness for the heart. Downward facing dog, really nice. So let's keep enjoying that openness for the heart, even in our downward facing dog. So let's extend the left leg behind us this time, grounding down through the right heel, both arms evenly strong. Bring the left foot between the hands, back foot flat. This time we stay facing the front of the mat. We'll come into a warrior one pose. And so here again, extending the arms up. And we'll bring the right hand behind our neck and left hand onto our elbow. We can rest our head into our arm. We can even lengthen the back of the neck. So imagine squaring the hips forward. You can embrace a little bit of openness to the front body, but space in the lumbar spine. And again, straighten both legs, release your arms, and we'll turn all the way to the back of the mat. So now the right toes are forward, back heel is flat. You square your hips, right thigh bone moves back, left thigh bone forward. Reach the arms to the sky and bring your left hand behind your neck, lengthening the spine. There's always opposites. Tailbone draw down, heart extends upwards. And we create more space for our breath. More space to digest. Perhaps a little bit more space in our mind. Release your hands to the right foot. Step into a plank pose. Lower down to exhale. The inhale again, the heart will lead us to lift up. Downward facing dog. And once again, the left leg extends towards the sky. Step the foot between the hands. Turn the back foot flat and lift the chest. This time we'll bring the hands to the hips. And we just square the hips and lift the right heel off the floor. So your hips are level. Press in through both feet and create length. We'll come into warrior 3 pose. So we'll come in through all the warrior poses. We're going to balance onto our front foot. So we'll step the right toes forward and maybe just find length through the right heel to the crown of the head. Maybe that right leg will extend behind us. It's almost as if we can imagine the right leg and the spine and the crown being in a straight line. You don't need to be parallel to the floor. Bring the fingertips to the earth. Find that length through the back leg, through your heart center. Slowly bring that right leg back. And bring your hands to the inside of the left leg. Turn your toes around. And we'll keep that left knee bent. And just moving into the hips a little bit more. Just find a little bit of space as you lower down into your left side. And then slowly shift all the way to the other side. So gently moving from side to side. Find a little bit of fluidity for all the warrior poses. Want a little bit more space and ease in the body. Let's bend the right knee again. Turn the toes towards the front of the mat. Turn the left foot flat, bending the right knee. We are back in our warrior 1. Now your choice. You can keep your hands on your hips as we did before as we flow into the warrior 3 pose. You can extend your arms to the sky to create even more length. Or perhaps you bring your palms behind you, either holding onto your opposite elbows or into a reverse prayer position. But either way, your heart will lead. Lift the left heel off the floor, ground through that front leg, and just float forward like you're flying. And create space and lightness through that back foot, toes spread out. The lightness of the heart. The element of the heart is the element of air. The air associated with breath, with prana, with receiving, with offering. Bring the fingertips down to the earth. Again, just find that length through the heart. And strong legs, both legs extending. Bring that left foot back down to the floor. This time come into a downward facing dog. In your downward dog, you can keep your feet apart, just bending one knee, then the other knee. So finding a little bit of ease. And bring both knees to the floor. And from here, bring your hands forward. You keep your hips over your knees. You just do a little bit of movement in the top of your rib cage. So you can lift your heart into your shoulders. And then release it back down towards the earth. Again, coiling in. And releasing down. Either stay with your forehead or your elbows on the floor, or allow your heart to release down. Slide all the way forward onto your forearms. The belly comes to the earth. You lift with the heart. So all the back bends out of the shoulders. So you get that lightness in our body. And either stay here, or if appropriate in your body, you can bend your knees and find your ankles or your trousers, whatever you reach, Flex the feet again. Press the feet back, as if you could press the feet so much that your heart will start to lift. And slowly release it all the way down. Release your legs. Sway the hips from side to side. And we can do this one more time. So go ahead and bend the knees. Find the ankles. Lift the chest all the way up. And release it back down. Bring the hands back down to the chest. Inhale, cobra pose or upward dog. This time we will meet the child's pose with the knees wide apart. Just allowing the heart to relax down towards the earth. The head to the floor, to your hands. Receiving the breath completely and allowing it to release completely. Just 2 more deep breaths in child's pose. When you're ready, you walk your hands towards you to sit all the way back and swing your legs around. And you come to the middle of the mat. We're starting to move towards the earth. So let's go ahead and just lower down towards the floor. Bring the knees towards you. From here we'll come into a spinal twist. So bring your knees to your left side, right arm up to the side. So there's no effort. Just allowing the shoulder and the right arm to release how far it wants to go. Allowing the breath to breathe the body. Go ahead and come back to the center again. And bring your knees out towards your right side. Left arm up to the left side. Letting the body release any unnecessary tension. Find softness and ease. And bring the knees back into the middle again. And simply bring the feet to the floor. Maybe feet apart, knees together. Hands on the body, maybe the lower abdomen or out to the side. If you have lower back issues, this is where it might feel comfortable in your back to stay. Or you can extend your legs out. But the thighs roll apart, the feet apart, the arms by the side, but having space between the torso and the arms. And so this is our relaxation pose or Shavasana. So where before we were letting go of unnecessary tension in our bodies, and this is a time to let go of unnecessary thoughts, unnecessary tension or stress in our minds, in our hearts, anything that's holding our breath. So for a few moments, simply enjoy that the body can relax and simply breathe. You can stay in Shavasana for a little while longer. When you're ready, you can wiggle the toes and the fingers and stretch out. Hug the knees to the chest. And so when you're ready coming out of Shavasana, you can just roll the body to one side. And then press yourself all the way up into a comfortable seat. And bringing the palms together in front of the heart center. So just for a moment, again, you can just feel the seat on the earth. Feeling that connection from the roots of the earth, the roots of your body, the pit of your belly, the center of your heart, the middle of the head, and the crown. So just taking a moment to honor the body and the breath, and the time you've taken out to practice. Take a deep breath in, and release through the mouth. So, namaste.